Hey everybody, it's Dave from Last Stand Studios, and right now I'm in a somewhat remote part of eastern Montana. We've been on the road for several days already, and oh, there's a grasshopper. We spent the last several days driving through the northern peninsula of Michigan.
There's a lot of them.
Wisconsin. There's grasshoppers flying everywhere. But what we've noticed sort of over the last several days driving through a somewhat remote part of the country is that pretty much every town that you go through, even the ones that are small, and we're about to spend a few days in a town working on a project that's only about a little over 300 people. And what you notice is even in the little towns, there'll be usually a church. So in the northern Midwest, it's usually a Lutheran church. And you'll usually see some kind of a tavern or pub, but like it's active. There's people going in and out at lunchtime, at dinner time. In one town in Minnesota, in the kind of the middle of a remote part of Minnesota, the whole town, it looked like, had turned out for like a summer barbecue. But something that you notice is you also usually see some kind of a monument. But most towns have a VFW hall, and then they have some kind of a flag stand, like a flagpole, and then some kind of a monument to the folks from that town who have served in various wars throughout the town's history. And what that got me thinking about in driving around doing interviews with people for our film American Monument is that the attacks on the monuments aren't so much just about an attack on history. It's also an attack on specific ways of life. Ways of life that are really integral to these local rural communities, kind of like the one that I'm in right now. It's not just history that we're trying to protect, that we're trying to make a positive argument for. It's also culture that's current. And if you kind of live within an urban or suburban framework, you're not going to necessarily be familiar with that way of life. But there's still thousands and thousands of people around this country in rural communities who still value things like sacrifice, courage, valor, and because it's in the center of their little towns. So if you would like to support us in our effort to defend American monuments, especially those focused on military heroes, then check out our Give, Send, Go page and donate a little bit today and help us tell this story and make this case for the preservation of the history and the value of our American monuments.